Good evening, students. Are you audible? Yeah. So the purpose for making this video is the analysis of today's question paper, income tax question paper. Okay. So my dear students, my conclusion is except the first question, rest of the paper is very easy. Even normal students also can answer this question paper. Of course, in first question, some adjustments, some different types of adjustments were provided. Of course, all those adjustments were covered in our material in various problems. Okay, so first of all, my dear students, descriptive part. Descriptive part, the first question is as usually from total income chapter for 15 marks. Okay, so the adjustments are some extent complicated adjustments given in this first question. Of course, all those adjustments were covered in our material in various problems. Okay, taken from various problems. Something different model problem. So this is the first problem from total income chapter for 15 marks. So here sales is a forming part of business. PGBP head involved in this problem. Other sources head also involved in this problem. So the first transaction, sales, it's a forming part of business. Family pension is another sources. Royalty income, other sources. So and dividends, other sources. Interest on fixed deposits, other sources. Of course, TDS, no TDS deducted here. You have to take the amount as it is. But here TDS deducted. So need to gross up the amount and to be taken into account. Last one is forming part of business. Okay, other sources and PGBP involved in this profit and loss account. In addition that some adjustments provided here. So first adjustment 2 lakhs related to flowers and creepers directly purchased from a farmer. That this is something new adjustment. Of course, if you prepared section 40A, section 40A3, section 40A3. So important point. So cash payment exceed 10,000 is totally disallowed. But there are some exceptions to 40A3. This is one of the exception to that. Computers and other electronic items includes 1 lakh paid for television and washing machines for her household use. Therefore, 1 lakh not to be allowed as deduction from P&L account. The amount of purchase of assets, computer and other electronic items were debited in P&L account. Out of that, 1 lakh never be allowed as deduction because household use. Salary and wages 2,40,000 to illiterate brother, the market rate is 1 lakh. Unreasonable payment made to relatives, close associates. So unreasonable payment shall be disallowed. It's a most popular adjustment, easiest adjustment. Next, salary and wages include salary paid to, next one is house property. This is house property adjustment. So house property head also involved in this problem. So of course, in house property, 50% used for shop, ground floor used for shop purpose is nothing but is a part of PGBP. First floor self-occupied. It's a income from house property. 50% PGBP, 50% house property. The interest directly given in the problem. Okay, house property had also involved in this problem. And no principal amount of interest was paid. No principal amount and interest was paid by. So in here, the interest point is very important. Interest paid in next year, 10/4/2025. Current year interest paid in next year. Of course, we are following accrual basis in house property head. Therefore, allowed as deduction in current previous year itself. Even if actual payment was not made, no issue. Next one, he purchased an electric vehicle for business purpose. Therefore, he can claim depreciation on this. Okay. Next, it's a capital gain. Capital gain also involved in this problem. House property also involved in this problem. And PGBP, other sources. Around 4 heads involved in this problem. So the students who prepared well can answer this question easily. Okay. So 1 or 2 adjustments are some extent difficult, except that rest of the problem is too easy. Okay. Next, Second problem, my dear students, this is from residential status. The easy problem, easy to answer this problem. Just 3 points into 2 marks, 6 questions. It's a section 5 related problem. The first one is dividend, place of accrual, place of receipt point. So first point, in first point, the assessee is a RNOR. Based on this status, you have to answer this question. Okay. Second question, non-resident. Based on this status, you will answer this question. Third status, third point, here also non-resident. So it was already discussed in section number 5. Easy question from residential status chapter. Next, third one, my dear student, this is TDS and TCS related problem. TDS, 2 points given in this problem. So 1 point relating to 194C. But however, TDS is not applicable here because it's a contract of sale, not a contract of work. 194 IB. Okay. So my dear students, this is the easy problem from TDS chapter. 2 sections from TDS part. Next, rent related section, second one, 194 IB. Next one, this is the total income problem. My dear students, compute the total income. This is a small total income problem. It involved 2 different heads. One is salaries head. This is the salaries head up to this point. Remaining point is a house property head. 2 heads involved in this problem. Both the heads are very easy. Easy problem, too easy. Even below normal students can also this problem very easily because all those points are fundamental points. But 2 different heads of incomes involved in this problem. You have to calculate each head separately and aggregate it. We'll get the total income. Compute the total income. So next one, simple problem, easiest problem. Next one is, this is the gift related problem, income from other sources. 3 gift points provided here. Okay. So other sources problem, 2 easy problems. So many of problems solved in our material like this. Okay. Gift related from relative, not taxable. Here sale of immovable property, recipient point of view, it's a 5th category gift. Immovable property, inadequate conservation. Gift of car, it's not a asset, not covered in property definition, therefore not taxable as a gift. Easy and fundamental points. Next, my dear students, next point is it's a set off and carry forward problem. Set off and carry forward. So many of problems covered in our material like this. Profit from restaurant business, it's a non-speculative business. Share of profit in a partnership firm. So it's an exempted income in the hands of partners. Income from salary computed 3,15,000. Interest from self-occupied property. It's an house property head, it's a loss from house property. Self-occupied property, interest becomes a loss. Principal 80C deduction. Capital gain 82,000. Long-term capital gain 112A, 1,10,000. Long-term capital loss 112, 68,000. It's a clubbing provision. Point number 9, it's a clubbing provision. So remuneration to spouse. She is not having adequate qualification. Therefore, this remuneration to be clubbed in the hands of assessee. Medical insurance premium, 80D deduction. Last one. So this is set off and carry forward related problem. It's a too easy problem. And these are the brought forward information from last year. Have you understood? Next. Last 2 are return of income problem. Both are related to PAN related question numbers. Okay. So this is the descriptive part of question paper, and my dear student, the conclusion is the paper is too easy, and some students may struggle in first question. That too 1 or 2 adjustments. Rest of the adjustments are too easy. Okay. So simple paper, and now we are going to MCQs part. My dear student, generally in every attempt MCQs are too difficult. This time MCQs also very easy when compared to previous 4-5 attempts. Okay. First of all, this is the scenario question, case scenario related MCQ. This is the information provided. Based on this information, you have to answer these 3 questions. Each question carries 2 marks, 6 marks total. But then 2 easy problem. So total 3 types of heads involved. The first one is capital gain. Of course, my dear student, the new point here is grandfathering benefit involved here and relating to 112 section. It was already discussed in classroom. Transfer of immovable property. Before amendment purchased, after amendment date transferred. Assessee must be a resident individual. If all those conditions were satisfied, grandfathering benefit gets attracted. Please go and verify relating to 112 grandfathering benefit. Okay. Anyway, capital gain. You have to calculate the capital gain in 2 cases, with indexation, without indexation. Then you will select whichever is beneficial to you. That is something new in this problem. Second one is arrears of rent realized. Arrears of rent. Income from house property. House property. First one is capital gain. Third one is other sources. Open site rent received. 3 different heads provided in this information. Based on, and something new in this problem is grandfathering concept involved in this, and another one is need to solve this problem under default tax regime 115 BSc. That is another important. Mr. Gopal is opting for default taxation regime under section 115 BSc. That is one of the important information. So based on this, you have to answer these questions. First, compute the capital gain. First question. Second question, compute the house property. Arrears of rent is there. Last question, tax liability. 2 easy question, but 2 important informations are there in this problem. One is grandfathering benefit. Second one is default tax regime. Okay. Next, again, second scenario question. Here also information provided. First one is PGBP. Second one also PGBP. One is profit, another one is loss. And can be set off. And the next last one is house property. He let out this house property 15,000 per month. Then information relating to house property. So loss from bettings is not to be set off against any other income. Just ignore it. Loss from betting on horse races. So from this information, you have to answer these questions. Gross total income. First question. Second one is total income. Compute the total income of such a. The first one is what shall be the gross total income. Second one is compute the total income. Is nothing but net income after claiming chapter 6A deduction, if any. Next, it's an individual question. It's an individual MCQ, 2 marks. So this is from set off and carry forward chapter. Set off and carry forward chapter. Next one, it's a TCS related 206C 1G TCS. That is one of the important point. And the last one, again individual MCQ, 1 marks. 3 individual MCQs are there, 2 marks, 2 marks and 1 mark. Last point is miscellaneous topics, unexplained money, 64, 69A. Unexplained money jewelry. Deemed income, taxable at 60% plus 25% surcharge plus education just 4%. Total 78% tax rate will be applied for this. And no losses can be set off against deemed income. Have you understood? So this is the last MCQ. My dear student, my conclusion is the paper is too easy. Of course, in first problem, 1 or 2 adjustments felt difficult by some students. Except that rest of the paper is too easy. Okay. Even MCQs also. Generally, every attempt MCQs are some extent difficult when compared to descriptive part. But this time MCQs also too easy. Okay. So my dear students, let's close here. Thank you all of you.
Okay, my dear students, good evening to all. Now we are going to discuss about the paper that was conducted on this day. that is May 7th, 2025, with respect to our taxation. So if at all you observe our GST paper, it is the moderate one, ma'am. Whereas if we want to divide the topic into the MCQs and the descriptive pattern, in my opinion, what I can say is here, definitely with respect to MCQs, they are more easy in comparison with the descriptive. Let's first start with this, what we can say, MCQs, case scenario based overview given. So if you observe this particular one, the questions are based on here with respect to place of supply. That means here we need to see whether it is intrastate or directly here they did not ask what is the POS, but indirectly they are asking whether it is intra or inter, what is the value there, like that actually you need to say. And this is RCM and this is payment of tax. That means three concepts are mixed here: RCM, payment of tax, and place of supply. Based on that, if you observe the question here, I think it was a very easy one according to my opinion. And if you observe case scenario 4, whereas Raj Enterprises, a partnership firm registered under GST, is engaged in the sale of both taxable and exempted goods, like that the question was given. If you observe this particular entire scenario, it was a lengthy question in fact. Here it was actually a mixture of what is if at all you took that time due date for the issue of invoice, it can be there in time of supply or it can be there in the tax invoice chapter, and value. So here it will little bit you need to see this one, and e-way based one, that is tax invoice chapter, and it is again payment of tax. So I think this question was a lengthy question. It is not a difficult question, but it will consume more time. But whereas with respect to MCQs are concerned, they are not that much difficult, and it is based on DCA. So with respect to DCA, definitely it is based on one circular, which is important one for the exams. So it will be there in supply chapter as well as there in value of supply. So it is also a straightforward one as per my opinion. And this one is based on tax invoice, debit notes and credit notes. So QR code is required or not, I think it will be a little bit. Not a difficult one, but it is not a direct one. Whereas with respect to previous MCQs are concerned, if at all you read the concept well, then definitely it is easy to answer. But this one, some little bit shuffling was done here. So according to me, this is the only part, some difficulty is there. The rest of the topic is, I can say with respect to MCQ, the paper is moderate. Now comes to our descriptive paper here, section B. If you observe this particular one, advance received, provided, commissioning services, stock transfer, it was actually there in our material in the comprehensive problems. So that means comprehensive problems are nothing but a mixture of 2 or 3 chapters, and this particular one was actually asked in the previous exams, like the model was asked. So according to my opinion, this question is a moderate one. And this one, 6B, I think it was 5B. This was 5A, I think so. Yes, 5B. With respect to 5B, it is based on value of supply. But here, with respect to value of supply, what they have asked is here, if at all you're conceptually having that much clarity, it is 100% easy to answer this question. But the people who mug up the things, definitely for them, this will be a little bit difficult one. But whereas the people who learns based on the concept, so that means they will keep more focus on the concept, it is just like a cakewalk for them, point B. See this subsidy, discount, based on that NGO subsidy, government subsidy, discount, after supply, like that the questions are asked. So if at all your conceptual clarity is there, definitely it is easy for you. Otherwise, it will be a little bit difficult for them, for the people who mug up. And 6A is actually based on ITC is allowed or not allowed. So it was the latest amendment, I think, CSR responsibility 75 blocked credit in fact. So these points here with respect to QB also, but each point was there in different questions, ma. If at all you're having the conceptual clarity, definitely it is easy for the people. So definitely I can say this one is moderate. And this one is with respect to exemptions, ma. With respect to examination, State Board of Education, hospital, that is healthcare services. That means education and healthcare services mixed was asked in this. So I think it is a moderate one. It is the only difficult one, 7A, according to my opinion. Whether it is 5 and 6, fifth one is actually easy one, moderate I can say, but sixth one is easy one. 7A is somewhat actually difficult one. That means to do the computations and all these things, it is a difficult one. So definitely the seventh question can be taken as choice here. 7A is a difficult one for me as far as my knowledge is concerned, because this one, inspection and verification of the goods in e-way bill, this is the least priority topic generally, we will say. So that's why 7 was a little bit difficult one. So definitely 7 must be taken as choice, according to my opinion. And 8A is based on supply, that means supply without consideration, 7(1)(c) topic, straightforward question. CDP and NRDP, section 27, straightforward theory. Deficiencies in the, that means the first chapter, ma'am, very easy. And here, when this completely knocked down or semi knocked down conditions are there, so 8th question was dead easy. So 5th question was moderate, 6th one was easy, 7th one difficult, and 8th one is straightforward and easy. So according to my opinion, 7th one shall be taken a choice. If at all you are able to write the rest of the ones, it is easy to get the at least 40 to 60 out of this paper is easy, ma. So the overall paper opinion, I can say it is a moderate to easy. Hope this video will be useful to you all. Please stay updated to our Masterminds YouTube channel.